Okay, we got silence. All right. What's up, guys? Darth Plagueis here. I have been trying to get this video out. I have deleted it multiple times. I'm sorry for that. life, life. But I wanted to get this out to you guys. So everybody was preparing for Beyond Light, right? Bounty hoarding, crazy amounts of, oh man. But instead of bounty hoarding, what I did was I gear hoard. I gear hoarded for a specific set because when I found out about them gauntlets, okay, oh boy, I just could not wait. I'm no longer going to be throwing a shield up in front of people who are potentially sniping or getting in the way of other guardians with my big O banner shield because, well, I'm under fire, fuck it. But that doesn't mean the guy behind me doesn't have me covered. Well, this build, which I'm dubbing the Darkest Plague build, is going to incorporate those gauntlets, certain abilities. Now, mind you, this is only the first week. I haven't unlocked a lot of fragments, and I haven't unlocked a lot of um, what is it called? Aspects. I went for one aspect specifically when I found out what it did. But what I've learned about aspects is they have fragment slot counts. So this one takes 2 boxes out of my fragment count right there, which means this is a powerful, powerful aspect. It's called Cryoclasm. Enables a longer and more powerful sliding into stasis crystals or frozen targets, shatters them, and any nearby frozen targets. This goes well with the Titan stasis subclass because you create frozen people. You are meant to slide through after you freeze and shatter everything. And then shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit. The reason I am running this is one, this grenade right here, called the Dust Field Grenade. A grenade that shatters on impact, leaving behind a field that slows targets and freezes those who do not leave the volume. This grenade sucks adds together. So if you throw it in a big group, it sucks the adds together and allows you to wait a few seconds, let them freeze, and then you come on through with Cryoclasm sliding. I'll show you that here in a moment, guys. Um, and bust the crystals, or your friends can shoot them, and blah 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 blah. But if you have a warlock that's running the aspect where any stasis crystal he shoots, it spreads little ones out. You combo together with this build, and a certain warlock friend of mine, um, his build is crazy. He prepared like I did for certain things when we found out about certain exotics, and this is the builds that came from it. But as I was saying, these crystals will spread out and freeze other people, which allows me to slide even more because the slide Cryoclasm slide is on a 5 to 3 second cooldown depending on how you use it. If you use one burst, wait a minute, use another burst, it won't go on cooldown. You got to give it a little bit to like kind of like recover, and you can get up to three to four slides out if you do it right. But I'm also just running the Shivering Strike. I like it. I use it like a ballistic slam. I jump up into the air, I press and hold and charge it, fly to the target that I want to hit, and bam, knock it out. And then you got, strength lift. It's really good. The Tower Barricade is going to be going away. I'll be using it on certain subclasses during Crucible. If not, I'm going to be using them gauntlets. So that's gone. But as I said, I had prepared for this build meticulously. And the other reason I was using that fragment is it gives me 10 resilience, which allowed me to remove a resilience mod on one of my pieces of gear and put it at mobility, which jumped me up to a 99, 100, 104. This Titan is all about speed. It's all about resilience because them gauntlets every 14 seconds, I'm going to be able to call that out. It's not going to be a long cooldown time for me. I'll call it out. After my shields are gone, 14 seconds, I'll have another shield. Gross. and then strength. I'm going to be able to constantly fly through the air and shatter strike basically. And then mobility, obviously you want the highest mobility you can get, so you get the most optimal slide and your Titan slides the most efficiently. Now, that is the subclass. Okay? The weapons. Oh my god, the weapons are important. Um, this Hailing Confusion can come with a crazy roll that is built for this Titan. Okay? So, Wellspring. Kills with this weapon generate ability energy. The energy is divided between your uncharged abilities. Think about that. Okay? You're constantly building you're constantly building your abilities. This takes Traveler's Chosen out of your hand. If you pair this with Surplus, increase handling, reload speed, and stability for each fully charged ability. Now, think about this. Alright? When you get into my build, you're going to understand how this weapon works in a second. But these two perks walk hand in hand really well because, one, when your abilities are full, not only do you have high energy fire procced from my gear, I'll show you that in a second, I now have a stability, reload speed, and handling buff, which means this weapon has a masterwork inside a masterwork. So for just having full abilities. So picking and choosing your time to be a killer and a shooter is really great with this build and this weapon. I am using Polaris Lance. It's like having a sniper rifle in your back pocket. Okay, it's worth it, and you have infinite ammo on the crits, dude. It's so good. All right, and then what I'm running is an overload mod as well. I'm running anti-barrier for the pulse and overload for the scout. It's gross, okay. But I was also thinking symmetry. With symmetry, they have a hidden unstoppable perk for the charged up attack. So if you were to use the scout rifle overload, so think about that. You know, your symmetry can have two buffs with one mod. Okay, so you would have overload rounds for the regular fast fire shots, and then for the charge shots you'll have unstoppable. Now I don't know if this is confirmed. I don't know if unstoppable or hidden unstoppable exotic perk has been removed from symmetry. If I'm not using Polaris Lance, I'm going to upgrade my symmetry, and it's going to be nasty because then I'll have overload and unstoppable with anti-barrier, with only two mods being wasted on my gloves. Since they changed this shit, it's been a little difficult to figure out a good build. And then obviously Falling Guillotine, Whirlwind Blade, Relentless Strikes. I loved Enduring Guard because I would use it to get a double kill, and with the mod or the perk mod called Better Already, you could really go on a sword frenzy. You can swipe, get some ammo back, get an orb, heal, swipe, and you would constantly wreck. But this is what we're using now. Now let's get into the armor. Alright, so like I said, I prepared for Holdfast set. That was, everybody was like, oh, recovery and intellect, and I posted a video months before telling people how to Titan, and they did not listen. And now I see all these Titans stuck with a bunch of 20 recovery, you know, they got 80 recovery, 100 intellect, and now they're completely having to rebuild their build because Titans weren't all about that in Stasis. Titans, Stasis, they're all about mobility, resilience, and strength, man. Alright, so on the helmet, I'm using high energy fire, pulse rifle targeting, mobility mod with a arc affinity. Okay, then with the gloves, I'm using supercharge. That way I can get 4 charges of light and constantly be putting down weapon damage like crazy. I can pick and choose, gather up 4 orbs, focus a boss or focus a yellow bar with my weapons until that boss dies. High energy fire does not consume an orb, so it's meant for stacking up the buff to 4, or however high you can get it, for if you need to kill an ad during a boss damage fight, you can look at that ad, have high energy fire times 4, kill it, and then still have 3 and move back to the boss and continue damaging with high damage weapon power. And then that paired with this is going to be good. But anyway, on the gloves. I'm using supercharged so I can have more. And then I'm using anti-barrier and overload rounds to pair with my weapons so I can bust them shields down. When I'm not using that, I use fastball, and then I usually just leave the anti-barrier pulse on because it's nice to be able to take down shields when you need to. Overload is only during important stuff. I don't run across overloads usually in the environment that my Dark Drinker, aka the Falling Guillotine, can destroy. Alright? Oop, oop. Resilience mod, Solar Affinity, so I can run, you know, what it was auto rifles, but now with them changing everything, the mods are whack. But like I said, this is what I run. So it was a good loss. Because this build was a complete gamble going into Beyond Light. I didn't know how prepared it was going to be, but it's pretty gross. Powerful Friends for that easy 20 plus mobility, okay? And then I have a high resilience, high strength chest piece. I was using Grenade Launcher, the new one, but most likely this is going to be, you know, Sword Reserves. It is going to be Sword Reserves. And I do believe I'm going to do Concussive Dampener. That way I can take area of effect damage a lot better. And when I put the Grenade Launcher back on, obviously you'll see how I'll switch these perks. Okay, so and then Resilience, Arc Affinity. Okay. For the boots were fucking tricked, man. Like, I could not, for the life of me, get strength and resilience correctly for boots. But then finally, you know, it worked out to where I got these, and I was just happy as could be. So with this one, I'm running Radiant Light for that 20 plus strength. And then for the grenade obviously I would change this, but what I would change this to, if I'm not running the grenade launcher, is Absolution, because Absolution reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power. Now think about that. Every time I get an orb, all ability cooldowns are cooled down. My gun cools me down. You get it. Cooldown rate is going to be crazy, and then them taking it costing 3 to run traction was great. This being a 0 is awesome traction. Very important for this build because you got to move, you got to fly. You slide, you need to be able to flip around, and you are a hunter in a Titan armor. Okay, that's how this build is ran. Mobility mod, obviously. And then Arc Affinity, you know what I'm saying. So there you go. That's how you would run it. Now, when you're not running the Absolution build, or you're not running, you know, if you're running the grenade launcher, obviously you would want to put the grenade launcher stuff back on and drop Absolution, because the grenade launcher basically is like a stasis subclass. You don't really need these abilities anymore because now you're being more sitting in the back, freezing stuff, you know, strategically with that new Salvation Grip. So now the mark, very important here, guys. There's many ways you can run this mark. If you're having trouble procking the overload sometimes, or you need to double proc the overload, it's nice to shoot with the Polaris Lance and then throw this grenade, you know, because then it sticks around them, pulls adds to them, and will freeze them and also overload them. So that, let's say you get 2 overload hobgoblins, that's where this grenade would come in. But being I am not doing overload type stuff, what I would switch to is I would take this off, and then I would drop Special Finisher, because we're not running those events that require overload and special ammo for your friends. You would put on I think it was Distribution. Yeah, reduce all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near enemies. With Distribution and Absolution, I do believe that's what it's called. Hold on. Yeah, Absolution. These two go hand in hand very, very well, because now you use your class ability near enemies. Okay, I got a group of enemies here in this doorway. Throw on my shield or pop my banner out, all my abilities cool down because my class ability is used near an enemy. So more cooldown rate, more darkness, more things to do with it. So definitely run distribution for when you're like crucialing or you're being like a badass and you're not sitting around. You get it. Void affinity. Now, this was the solstice mark from the last stuff. I love the mark, and I could not get a hold fast mark that I was comfortable with. Actually, it just wouldn't drop it to me. For some reason, I could not get hold fast mark to save my life. I did get one, but sadly, I ended up infusing the light level into this one because I was like, well, it's not. It pissed me off. It finally gave it to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with the solstice mark. Represent. You know what I'm saying? Having a nice little pretty butt towel to wipe all my haters' blood off my hands. All right. Anyway, but basically that's it. And then the way I'm gonna set up my relic, um, not too fancy. Obviously, I'm gonna go for the barriers, and then I went with the grenade launcher, special finisher, or heavy finisher. That's gonna come into play really good. Defeating a champion by using a finisher spawns heavy ammo for your fire team. That is going to be great, and I will be incorporating that later if we are starving for heavy. But I have found with the sword, with relentless strikes, you're not starving for heavy as long as you strike, 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 do your powered attack, whirlwind 5. Strike, 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 powered attack, whirlwind 5. You get it. And your sword will be able to outlast most bosses because, well, mine does, and it's because of relentless strike. So I don't find using the heavy too often. But then the other ones I'm going to go for, definitely going to go for unstoppable shotgun for when I need to run unstoppable and somebody else is running overload. But usually, um, with me having the overload grenade, the anti-barrier pulse, I could put this unstoppable on my shotgun, not run Polaris Lance with the overload at all, and there you go. I have an unstoppable shotgun. My preferred role is opening shot, double the load, and then the assault mag for the little bit of range buff. I like small bore, and then handling target. This is what I wanted. I preferred this role because I feel like this is going to be great against unstoppables. You'll proc, hit, 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 and then when you each reload, you get 2 bullets. So 2, 4, 5. It's loaded. Plow, 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 plow. 2, 4, 5, and it's done. So the double the reload and then having that increased accuracy on the opening is going to be pretty great. So, but as I was saying, that is the next mod that I would be unlocking, which will be, what is that? 11. I'm already at 10. So I would need to buy one more of these somewhere, and then I'll unlock that final mod. I would probably do Surge Eater with the overload and all that during certain things. So this is probably going to be my next mod to unlock a Surge Eater to put with this build because it's going to work well with this build. Just all in how you use it. You guys got an idea of what the build is and how it's going to work. I'm going to show you how it works here in a minute, and you're going to love it. And then you unlock unstoppable shotgun. That's done, and then that's it. That's the build. 99, 100, 104. Like I said, next week we can't get any more of these right now. This week we have finished everything for Varg, so next week this build can change drastically, because next week I might be able to get another aspect that doesn't cost so many fragment slots, allowing me to put more than one fragment in each week, which I'm probably going to hit the 100 full 100 mobility because I'll be able to take this mod, put it in a different fragment slot, and it'll give me that 10 strength buff. Slow from abilities, which is the grenade we're using, lasts longer. For those abilities that linger, their duration will also increase. Okay, that's going to just increase this build even more once I get that ability unlocked, or that fragment slot unlocked, and are able to put an aspect in that goes with this build and also Cryoclasm, which will allow me to get that 10 strength. I would then come over here, being as I don't need 10 strength. Where is it at? Is that resistance mobility? I don't know where I would put the 10 strength, honestly. Well, it would give me 10 strength, but thinking about it now, I don't have any more strength mods on already. I'll have to flip it around. I'll figure it out, but I'll hit that 100, 100, 100 build. But as I was saying, that'll allow me to have more. So next week, this build's going to change because of different aspects being obtained, also earning a different, possibly this fragment, and being able to run another one, you know, a third fragment. Who knows? You know, some of these warlocks out here, they're running certain aspects that gives them 4 to 6 slots. And they've got so many fragments, you know, that they can put on at one time that they are got crazy builds. But you know, that broken shit only lasts so long before it gets nerfed. So this build, I see, hasn't been getting any problems about it. You know, they haven't been complaining about it at all. What it is they just don't understand what they're coming across. Like this in Gambit, when I'm doing things, it scares people. People quit, they leave, or they message me, "You're a fucking cheating hack," blah 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 blah. But I'm gonna take us in and I'm gonna show you a little bit of how this build performs and how to use it. It is not something to just slap your hand at and go, because this will fuck you up. Especially in a person's hands like mine, who has a very less distracted mind and knows how to use things. But like I said, this build, Darkness Plague build, was the Darkest Plague build is a complete accident, guys. I thought I was so underprepared with the way I was going with it that I ended up coming out with one of the best builds that is happening to Stasis Titans right now. Excuse me. Slide. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Oh, you know, you got a sniper peeking you over there. You just, come on now, move up. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna move to these people very quickly and crucially, or to your ad very efficiently. Let's get over here and start performing. And like I said, a lot of people are whiffing their melee. They don't know how to use it. So basically what you do with the melee, that's how you're supposed to use that melee. You jump into the air, you charge it, and then you come flying in with it. And then you hit them with this grenade, see how it pulls them? Oh. You get it. And then if you time your jumps and your slides right, there ain't gonna be nothing that can't just, the game doesn't know what to do with this stuff. But you see, the way it performs, it's just too fun. And then once I get a super built up, like, check this weapon out. It's like having a Traveler's Chosen in my hand. Look at my abilities go up, and it's random, so it's randomly giving you ability energy to whatever is not full. You see what I mean? This will scare people. An invader, as an invader, or being an invader, both. Being on both ends of this stick just sucks. It just all depends on which end of the Roman stick is the cleanest to you. Because you being an invader with this causes so much panic. They will waste their supers trying to shut you down because they don't know what to do with you. I'm trying to build a super for you so I can show you how to use your super. Like, it's crazy. Alright, so when you cast your super, alright, you're all about, remember that whole anything you bust, you're basically you are empowered when it comes to ice. So when ice is out and about, what you want to do is slide through that. See what I mean? You'll slide through it and you cause damage. See that? So your attacks are all about finding the frozen enemy and just fucking the world up with the shit. And then you freeze more. And it's done. And then you got Dark Drinker to back you up. It's this build is too much fun. Too much fun. So that's Dark Plague. This is the Darkest Plague build. It's too much fun. Alright guys.